Entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Jared. This is Captain Clay. We're helping you navigate the tricky waters of entrepreneurship, and today we are talking about 4 skills. There are probably more than this, but today we are just talking about 4 skills that every entrepreneur must have. First up, Clay, they must be able to conceive it before you can achieve it.
I mean, you got to know what you want to get out of life. You know, you have to know. I mean, if your goal is to get in shape, how much weight? What is your weight you want to get to? You know, what do you want to look like? If you want to build a house, what's the house going to look like when it's done? I mean, just on a simple level, if you're talking to a builder and he's like, what do you want your house to look like? I don't know. No, but specifically, what do you want? Couldn't really tell you, but I hope it's successful. What do you want specifically? What do you want? Just, I want something that, good. I want to take care of my family. What are you talking about, man? I need to know what kind of flooring you want, what kind of roofing, what kind of walls. Talk to me, give me specifics. I didn't really thought about it. That's how a lot of people approach their dreams and goals. You've got to give a specific something. Know what you want to get specifically out of life. Cool?
Now, I know there's some people out there watching, and I know I've fallen into this trap before, that they look at something like that and they think they've got to come up with this grand scheme that is going to take them from when they're 25 years old, 35, 45, whatever the case may be, to the end of their life. And they feel as though this is such an audacious thing to figure out. It becomes a little bit overwhelming, and you're like, what am I here for? What is my purpose here? What am I supposed to do? And I would just venture a guess that from the time you started DJ Connection at 18, even before that, but officially started DJ Connection at 18, that since you started that to where you are today, your vision has probably changed a little bit in the past 12 years.
It's going to change a lot, and I will tell you on a yearly basis is how I would approach it. 2 years ago, I sold the interests of the Dallas and Tulsa offices, so I was able to have more financial freedom to do what I wanted to do. So I was like, what do I want to do? So I took time off to write a book. I wanted to catalog how I got from where I was to from where I started to where I was. And I wanted to kind of look at it and go, what did I do wrong? What did I do good? What happened? So I wanted to catalog that. And then I wanted to try my hand in different areas. I wanted to see if I could sell mortgages. I wanted to see if I could market that. I wanted to see if I could do business coaching. I wanted to see if I could, and I found success in certain areas, And then other areas I was like, I didn't really like that. And then a friend of mine came along, Braxton, and said, hey, you want to team up and do a real estate company? You market mortgages, maybe you can market real estate. So I took my hand at that. And found out that we sold a lot of real estate, leased a lot of property, but I found that I hate real estate. I just hate it. I hate talking about what kind of flooring you want and then taking 4 months to get you financing and looking for properties, and I just don't like it. But I found there was things I did like about it. I found out how to buy a house. I now know that if I ever buy a house again, it's only going to be from auction or foreclosure. I would just never, ever, sorry realtors, I would never use a realtor to buy a house that's just normally listed. I wouldn't do it. Just never would. It makes sense. There's too many houses that are in foreclosure. I learned Warren Buffett's phrase, be greedy when the market's fearful. I never really knew what that meant until I started working in real estate. I saw all these cats who had bought buildings that are worth $5 million for $400,000. And I'm like, well, how did you buy this property? They said, well, I wouldn't buy any property unless it's deeply discounted. And they just have that mentality. So I was able to learn those things. And then from that, I learned, what? I love the wedding business. It's something I'm into. It's my passion. I love working with brides and grooms. I love seeing them celebrate their big day together. I love the optimism, the hope, the expectation. I love the whole thing. And I love doing speaking events. And beyond that, I don't really like a lot else. I like helping people start a business through speaking events, and I like the wedding business. But I don't like those other things. So it helps me, so I'll just say, so this year, how my goals have changed last year and this year. This year, looking at my goals, I want to finish a new book I'm working on called The Wheel of Wealth. Don't reinvent the wheel. So I'm working on that, and wanting to get the wedding wall opened in every city on the planet that's sustainable. So that's what I want to do. And you know what? I'm going to get to about the 5th city, and then some guy's going to come to me and say, hey, what if you... And I'm going to have to know if that fits in with my vision or not. I had a guy come in the other day, wants us to take over his property. And you know what? That doesn't fit in with my vision. I don't want to own a venue. I have no desire to own a venue. I hate real estate. So I confidently say, no, not in my 1-year plan. So I would just encourage you, every year, make a plan, pursue it with confidence. At the end of the year, take time to reflect. do? What do we want to do differently? What do we like? What do we not like? That kind of thing.
Yeah. So all that just to show how that just start with something.
Yes.
Get a vision for something and start running with it, because that will change. And I know I don't have nearly the success that Clay has, but in starting the auto detail company, I could care less about a car. I like driving cars, but beyond that, I don't really enjoy the detailing. It's a simple process that it is relaxing, but at the same time, like, it's not my passion to clean cars for the rest of my life. However, this has given me the steps needed to move into other business avenues and essentially just learn principles of business. And it motivates you to read and grow, and as you see your product and your brand begin to grow, it's very motivating to continue. Like I said, I'm not passionate about cleaning cars, but I am passionate about Shine on a Dime, because that is my brand, that is my company, and I will see the success of it. And so I want to tag what Clay said there, just go with something. If you have no skills whatsoever, you have two hands, start a business picking up poop out of people's yards. Their pets poop in their yard and they do not want it there, they do not want to clean it up themselves, and you don't have to have any skills to do this. But you can start a business and you can provide a great service for these people, and people will pay a premium price for it because you are better than the competition and you are not a tool going out there doing it.
Amen. And I just want to validate what Jared said. Russell Simmons talked about, he says, if you don't know where to start, start by sweeping. So exactly what you said, he kind of gave the inner city model of, like, just grab a broom, go in front of a business and start sweeping. And eventually the owner will ask you, why are you sweeping my business for free? Well, I'd like to earn a job, sir. I mean, that's the kind of thing. So I just want to encourage you, take what Jared said, put it into place. It's truth in action. Second thing I want to talk about here, as far as the skills entrepreneurs must have, is that you must be able to find problems that are worth fixing. There is problems worth solving, there's some problems that are not. Just an example, a gentleman has a property, wants us to run it. I'm looking at it going, the break-even point on this is so high, we'd have to do so many events just to break even, just to service the debt. It's not worth the time. Another gentleman I'm working with, he has a basketball coaching clinic, and he's making some good money. I look at his break-even point, and I'm like, this is a good niche. He needs problem helping build duplicatable and scalable systems, because he trains the heck out of young kids on how to play basketball, and the kids are happy, the parents are happy, they're learning skills. There's an endless supply of kids wanting to learn. There's a ton of parents who believe in their kids and want them to play college sports. So it makes sense. It's a problem worth solving. So I'm all about doing that. But there's a problem not worth solving. Maurice Canbar, the guy who invented Sky Vodka, he found a way to organically basically develop a new kind of yogurt. And after doing it, he found out that it was so costly to do it that it wasn't worth doing. So just find a problem out there and find a way to solve it.
I mean, Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York, mayor when 9/11 happened, he simply stated that leadership is solving problems.
Amen. That's that. Woo! That's awesome. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. Back to you for point number 3.
Number 3, must form a habit of over-delivering.
This is something that you'll struggle with, I struggle with, figure it out. I'm just telling you this. Yesterday, with my wife, I wake up here, before my wife on Sundays, and I'm like, my wife's hot. I look over, I wake up out of my bed, my wife is hot. I'm a lucky dude. So I have to make a list of something I'm going to do to wow her. What am I going to do today to wow her? What am I going to do? I got to do something to wow her today. And honest to God, I do this. And I'm like, I'm going to make some crazy hot chocolate for the kids tonight. I'm going to grill stuff. I'm just going to take that burden, that pressure off her, and she's going to go, wow. And so made a plan to do that. Also made a plan to pick her up a Hershey's bar at the store, and made a plan to do, just certain things. Last week, made a plan to make a secret rendezvous at Victoria's Secret to buy some things and bring back and surprise her. But you can put on your list to over-deliver. Your clients, you're like, what can I do this week to exceed their expectation? I've been working with this guy for 3 years. What can I do to wow his face? And then you make a list and you do it. And then they start to go, wow, you exceed my expectations. Wow, you do more than you say you're going to do. Wow, pretty soon people start to look at you as somebody that over-delivers, as a giver, not a taker. A lover, not a fighter. Maybe not that part.
See, I love what Clay said there. The great place to start is simply at home. I'm sure your wife, your husband, your kids would love for you to over-deliver for them, and they're never going to reject that. And also to expound on that, I think some people can get caught in the rut of thinking it has to be some big grand idea. It's like you said, just for your wife, a Hershey's bar. what is that, like 50, 60 cents?
It's 74 cents, Jerry.
74 cents. I'm sorry, this economy, I tell you. But something so small, 74 cents, and she just thought, I'm sure thought that was awesome. My wife is the same way, a Hershey's Cookies and Cream Bar.
Ooh.
When you take one of those home, you think it's awesome. You can get a $5 set of flowers from Walmart, and they think it's incredible. They don't care how much you spend with the details. We'll send our people, as a thank you, a $5 Starbucks card. It's just a little way for us to say thank you and to please think of us again. We just want to say thanks, so here you go. You spent a bunch of money with us. We want to give this to you. Go get coffee on us.
It's phenomenal.
It's just a little way to say thank you. It doesn't have to be some grand idea. Moving on here, I know we're running out of time. Number 4, the last thing we're talking about today is you must be able to build a mastermind.
What I'm talking about is you've got to be able to convince people to work with you and to buy into your dream. I mean, bottom line, I got a guy right now that upstairs, I'll share his name, Daniel McKenna. But Dan McKenna is one of the most dynamic, awesome people I know.
It's true.
High integrity, hard worker, just a great guy. And Dan's a shooting star. And my job as a business owner is to try to catch shooting stars, not to hold them captive, but to let them truly spread their wings in a way that benefits us. So I guess the way it would be is like he spreads his wings, and imagine there's like a little rope attached to the bird's legs, and he's helping lift up, the big mothership with him. And if we got 50 people all spreading their wings, all doing what they want to do, it helps us to grow. So Dan doesn't like to do a lot of direct sales, but Dan loves to DJ, he loves to train his team, he loves to mentor, he loves to build business systems. Those methodical, awful spreadsheets, he likes to build them. The systems needed, desperately needed to manage inventory, he likes to make that stuff. So I had to find a way to let him do that on a full-time basis. Got another lady right now, lovely lady, awesome at editing, just loves editing, turning photos into art, loves taking video and turning it into a masterpiece. Have to find a way for her to do that on a full-time basis. Doesn't necessarily enjoy dealing with the management detail, dealing with humans, likes to deal with making these videos. So you just have to find a way to get people on the right seats on the bus. And about a year and a half ago, true story, this is my bad, just to see you learn from this. Gentleman, dynamic, great leadership skills, hard worker, unbelievably professional, articulate, and we lost him. He was a guy that came here, and we couldn't find a position for him quick enough to keep him. And so he went on to do his own thing. And that's the deal where you've got to be able to build a mastermind as far as a mind of people who are all working together in a mutually beneficial way, in a sustainably, mutually beneficial way. You've got to be able to build that team. If you can't do it, you're done. I'm telling you, if you're going to go Lone Ranger man, that's tough. You've got to be able to build a team. That involves compromise. There's sometimes our HR guy, he views the world differently than I do. But I have to empower him to do that because he does a lot of things better than I do. And I've got to be okay with that. So it's building a mastermind, getting a team of people who all buy into the same plan, mutually benefiting each other on a sustainable level.
So there you have it. 4 things that every entrepreneur must have. Number 1, you must be able to conceive it before you achieve it. 2, you need to be able to find problems worth fixing. Number 3, you need to form the habit of over-delivering every single time. And number 4, you must be able to build a mastermind, getting those people around you that are better than you are at certain things. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can post them on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. You can always email Clay directly, clay@makeyourlifeepic.com. That's clay@makeyourlifeepic.com. And once again, I'm Jared, this is Clay. We'll see you next time. Woo!